The Camerlengo ran on, standing tall, calling out to the world to have faith, running toward the masses carrying this weapon of destruction. Langdon ran down the stairs after him. What is he doing? He will kill them all. Satan's work, the Camerlengo screamed, has no place in the house of God. He ran on toward a now terrified crowd. Father! Langdon screamed, behind him. There's nowhere to go. Look to the heavens. We forget to look to the heavens. In that moment, as Langdon saw where the Camerlengo was headed, the glorious truth came flooding all around him. Although Langdon could not see it on account of the lights, he knew their salvation was directly overhead. A star-filled Italian sky. The escape route. The helicopter the Camerlengo had summoned to take him to the hospital sat dead ahead, pilot already in the cockpit, blades already humming in neutral. As the Camerlengo ran toward it, Langdon felt a sudden overwhelming exhilaration. The thoughts that tore through Langdon's mind came as a torrent. First he pictured the wide-open expanse of the Mediterranean Sea. How far was it? 5 miles? 10? He knew the beach at Fiumicino was only about 7 minutes by train. But by helicopter, 200 miles an hour, no stops. If they could fly the canister far enough out to sea, and drop it. There were other options too, he realized, feeling almost weightless as he ran. La Cava Romana. The marble quarries north of the city were less than 3 miles away. How large were they? 2 square miles? Certainly they were deserted at this hour. Dropping the canister there. Everyone back. The Camerlengo yelled. His chest ached as he ran. Get away. Now. The Swiss guards standing around the chopper stood slack-jawed as the Camerlengo approached them. Back. The priest screamed. The guards moved back. With the entire world watching in wonder, the Camerlengo ran around the chopper to the pilot's door and yanked it open. Out, son. Now. The guard jumped out. The Camerlengo looked at the high cockpit seat and knew that in his exhausted state, he would need both hands to pull himself up. He turned to the pilot, trembling beside him, and thrust the canister into his hands. Hold this. Hand it back when I'm in. As the Camerlegno pulled himself up, he could hear Robert Langdon yelling excitedly, running toward the craft. Now you understand, the Camerlegno thought. Now you have faith. The Camerlegno pulled himself up into the cockpit, adjusted a few familiar levers, and then turned back to his window for the canister. But the guard to whom he had given the canister stood empty-handed. He took it. The guard yelled. The Camerlegno felt his heart seize. Who? The guard pointed. Him. Robert Langdon was surprised by how heavy the canister was. He ran to the other side of the chopper and jumped in the rear compartment where he and Vittoria had sat only hours ago. He left the door open and buckled himself in. Then he yelled to the Camerlegno in the front seat. Fly, father. The Camerlegno craned back at Langdon, his face bloodless with dread. What are you doing? You fly. I'll throw. Langdon barked. There's no time. Just fly the blessed chopper. The Camerlegno seemed momentarily paralyzed, the media lights glaring through the cockpit darkening the creases in his face. I can do this alone, he whispered. I am supposed to do this alone. Langdon wasn't listening. Fly. He heard himself screaming,